How you going, guys? It's Frenchy here. I got some good news and some bad news for you. Good news is we have a fire podcast coming up with none other than Isaac Butterfield, the BUTTSMARN. We have a great chat with him from our various locations. Now you're wondering the bad news. Now I should specify, it's not anyone's fault. No, definitely not my fault. The audio isn't as good as usual. Usually, I know you put our podcast on and your ears have a little massage by our voices. They get a little wet. Some of them probably finished. Not the girls' ears. Girls can't finish, but yeah, the audio is a bit fucked for the first 35 minutes of the episode. That's a long time of the episode too. It's I don't want to go on the technicalities of it, but I don't know whose fault it was. It definitely wasn't me wearing my fucking gaming headphones with that fucking chopper microphone stick. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If anyone's fault, it's patient zero. It's Bat Sue's fault, because if he didn't eat that bat, I wouldn't have to record shit from my room, and everyone knows I shouldn't be responsible for things. Maybe it's Tom's fault. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So the audio is a bit sketchy for the first half of the interview. Hopefully you still like it. If it's too much for you, just skip through. Just skip through. Skip through. Be a grown up. Be a grown up. Be a grown up. We're working on it. We may get back to the office next week too, so it should be no drama since then. Have a blessed day. Yeah, I don't know how to talk by myself. Have a blessed day. That's now my catchphrase. Also, I don't think Tom's going to check this, so should I just, fuck Tom, he's a pedo. Nah, he's not. Nah, he's not. Should we report him, though? It's getting weird. No, I'm joking. Am I? Enjoy the interview.
Welcome to the Tom and Frenchy podcast. What's going on?
Today, we give him an introduction and just say what's going on. That's just...
Well, I was talking to you, Frenchy, and then you can talk as well. That's how a podcast works.
Look, he's waiting to speak again. At least he's not just waiting as long as last time. Do we have a very special guest? We're not going to keep him waiting too long. He's wearing glasses at the moment, but you know him for his beard. You know him for his incredible videos about vegans, cyclists.
Yep.
Vegans again, and then
there has been a bit of a
feminist cyclists again. Yo, bro. Yeah. His name is Isaac Butterfield. How you going, Isaac?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here in the studio. It's great to be here. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. And I'm absolutely stoked to be in your ears.
That was a very Ray Warren vibe about that. No, I love the title of your latest video, Isaac. What was it called?
Exposing sugar babies.
No, the title I saw was Sugar Baby Sucks Old Man's Cock or something like that.
Yeah. No, I didn't use that title on fucking YouTube.
It popped up for me. For me.
I put it up on Instagram or something. It was, basically it was a story about a young lady who was advertising for a sugar baby website, whereas she was doing sexual favors for old rich dudes, and her biggest cash prize was a $2 million house just for sucking old wrinkly balls.
That is incredible. That's
everyone's
a good
dream.
Market.
Yeah,
would you guys suck an old ball sack for a $2 million house if you only had to suck it once?
Oh, not again. I'm happy where I live. I don't know. Fucking oath I would, of course. If I had
a ball sack, you would suck for $2. Like, it's not. It's a enclosed sack. No, it's an enclosed sack. It's not like it's stuff can get it. Not $2. Okay, 20.
But even then, if someone came up with a bloody orange on the street and said, "Hey, mate, would you lick this orange for $20?" I was like, no. Oh, I don't need $20. That fucker. I don't know how harsh I don't know how harsh cancelling the Melbourne Comedy Festivals hit you, mate. But I don't have to lick balls yet. That'll come. All right.
I don't
Not yet.
Have to, but maybe I want to.
Yeah, it seems like you want to. That's the thing. Isaac, you've been on the show before. You were on a pretty wild episode where we did it live in Melbourne.
Many moons ago.
Yeah, it was almost a year ago because you would be there now probably, or is it over by now?
It's over now. I am supposed to be in America.
Oh shit.
I know. I had a phone call from one of my mates, Adam Greentree, who's a good friend of Joe Rogan's, and he said to me, just out of the blue, he said, "Isaac, do you want to come to America and hang out with Joe and Dave Chappelle?"
Oh my
Fuck
God.
off.
And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, let's do it." And I've always wanted to meet Joe, and Dave Chappelle's obviously the GOAT of stand-up. And so that was all planned, paid for, and then some dickhead ate a fucking bat, and now I'm sat here in a boardroom. It's bullshit.
Yeah, fuck. How has it been? How do you cope on your own for copious amounts of time?
It's fine, mate. I'm very entertaining, so I no, it's been all right. Well, I mean, other than Melbourne and that, I'm pretty stuck in my house most of the time. Anyway, that's where my studio is. So I spend a lot of time here, but I do miss performing. Thankfully, I came back from a big tour last year, 80 shows. So I was pretty keen on some time, but that was December. Now it's coming into whatever fucking month it is now, nearly end of April. So I'm pretty keen to get back on the road when this is over, and it's one of those things where it's like the footballers, they're all keen to play. I'm keen to do some stand-up, get on stage, and as much as I enjoy making videos, I love doing that. That's my bread and butter. But much like Frenchy would be, I miss getting on stage and carrying on.
As I was going to say, are you going to go the same route as the footballers and just announce, hey guys, I'm going back on tour June 5th, haven't okayed it with any premiers or parliament, but that's happening?
Yeah, I saw that the other day with Josh Adokar and another bloke. They just went out and they started shooting guns and that. Like, I don't think they got done for gun charges too. I think that was a bit ridiculous. But how fucking thick are you? Apparently, Josh Adokar got warned twice not to be out and about, and he ended up at Moree. Like, fucking go inside, Josh. What are you doing? Like, I'm sure we've all done a little bit of naughtiness during this lockdown period. I certainly haven't. But why would you do that when you're a high? Okay, regardless, he's a high-profile person, but he could have got away with it if he didn't post it on his.
Don't post it. That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. Why the fuck are you posting these pictures? Do you have any concept of the outside fucking world? Holy fuck, they are dumb.
Sorry, there's Nathan Cleary as well. Did you see him?
With his sister's friends, just fucking sit on my lap, girls. Let's go.
Did you see the photo of him? Have you seen it, Tom? Can you pull up the photo? Is that possible?
Pull up the photo, Tom. It's like Nathan Cleary breaking lockdown. For those who don't know, he's an NRL player. His dad's famous player coach. He's a good-looking rooster, and he's got like a panther. There we go. He's got like a bogan bachelor. He's trying to. What is he doing? Like a Western Suburbs Hugh Hefner vibe right now because they're smashing. What are they smashing? Cruisers or some shit?
Bacardi breezes or some Ruskies.
They're having some Coronas, and he had like 6 girls around him.
And like, in the chat, you can see it there.
Why is it in the chat?
Bro, we're not very
good at this.
Hang on. Jesus Christ. Butterfield to the rescue. So what's happening here is, and it's actually really hard to see, but if you go and you have a look, and gentlemen, right here, I'll just share it on the screen.
Oh, he's
good. He's good.
So Cleary apologizes, says girls were waiting for an Uber and visited the house for no longer than 10 minutes. He ended up putting up a TikTok video too. So that was bullshit. But look at obviously it's not a great photo, but you can see right there that, that's not what I tried to do, but right there you can see he's just like, fuck, this is going to backfire. This is not good. Oh, Jesus Christ, there's shoelers everywhere. Wow. This chick's on my lap, and this is not exactly what I fucking had in mind. But anyway, these things happen.
Right.
So
they're just there for the clout. They are absolutely there for the clout.
Yeah, so there's that's what they were doing. And there's your boy Josh Adokar shooting a fucking tree. God. I don't know what are you doing there? And there's some pasta.
Do you reckon you have to be smart to be a sports player? Is that something you think?
I had this conversation recently with with bloke in a bar down in Kemp, and I said the thing about rugby league players is 90% of them are the dumbest cunts alive, and you have to be dumb. There's nothing. You can't be an overly smart person and just headbutt each other all fucking day. You can't.
Yeah, something in your brain goes, maybe I shouldn't run headfirst into this bloke.
Yeah, and I played footy for 16 years. I admit, dumb cunt, but. I'm relatively smart now, but back then, and that's what I struggled with. I struggled with the whole sort of like, oh, let's just fucking jam each other and headbutt each other. I did enjoy the violence, but it got to a point where I was just like, this is silly.
It's hard because it's like no matter how good the showers are after the game, it doesn't make up for the concussions because you need to remember the clap in the cheeks in the showers afterwards. I was just trying to troll Isaac there.
There's nothing gay about getting your dick sucked.
No, but here's the thing. See, our rugby league players, a lot of them they are dumb, and they don't even need the season to cause controversy. They've got a beautiful skill like that, but the NFL players in America, even dumber. That's what's scary to think about because really? They're athletic and they're from a young age, so they don't even need to do school at all because they're in all the programs. They're in all the. They don't even when they do college, they get people to do their assignments for them. They're like, "You're a basketball star. Don't even fucking worry about it. You know what I mean?" So you see when they speak in interviews, they can't even talk, man. Half of them can't even fucking read. It's crazy.
Yeah. I hate sports people. I really do. Fuck them.
I love them.
I hate your bit in your new special that came out this week. Holy dooly, Ruben Wiki, ladies and gentlemen. How exciting. The bit that you do about Big Papi is fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
one of my favorite bits I've ever seen you do. I fucking love that.
That's what I was trying to get, like some sort of because when they get smashed in the news, it's always just like rugby league players are idiots, blah blah blah. Look at this, but then I was trying to get some balance to it, going, yo, a lot of the shit they do is fucking funny. Most of them are just lads having a laugh. Like this videos that got released, like some of it's bad, but some of it's fucking hilarious. So
one of the guys who signed with the Gold Coast team back in the day, back in the late 90s, I'm sure you've seen this video. I was doing the rounds on Facebook, and he gets asked why did he want to move to the Gold Coast to play. And this is in the 90s, and he's just in front of all the news media. He goes, well, I come up here. It's a nice place, and there's a lot of hot women. I want to fuck them all.
I want to fuck them all.
That's literally what he said on the news. He said, I want to fuck them all. How good's that? Why can't they have characters? This is the thing. Like why can't this is what comedians can get away with. We can do anything and say anything.
Why can't they have personalities? And what's wrong with trying to have sex with everyone consensually? Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing
if he went up there and said, I want to rape everyone, okay, there's an issue.
Different. That's a different thing, yes.
Yeah, I guess if he says want, that's a key word. If he said, I'm going to, it's like, okay.
Whether they like it or not.
It was a very sort of like sus little difference there. Do you work for George Pell's legal counsel?
Yes,
that's just a very slight little... He said want, not will. Nothing wrong with wanting to rape everybody. If you say you will do it, now that's bad.
Yeah.
Tom knows all the loopholes, yeah.
That's right.
Have you had any backlash, Tom, about the creepy like pedophile stuff?
Not at all. Literally not at all. The thing is, I joke about it. I don't do it. That's the difference, I guess.
That's always a positive.
I love how every guest on the show knows to talk to you about it. It's like it's becoming really big. It's coming a rolling ball of snow, and soon you won't be able to stop it.
Like, what would happen if the world ended tomorrow and like somehow down the line, 10,000 years, they found a hard drive, and on that hard drive was one of your podcasts when they were just talking about Tom being a pedophile, and they found out, and they just started like, you were like their god. You were their pedophile god. Tom Armstrong, the pedophile god.
And they created some kind of Vatican-like institution where they raised these people and slid it under the carpet, and it was the new Catholic Church.
Yeah, it was like
Church of Tom. Yeah,
it was like this weird style of the Vatican where young boys were raped. Actually, it was a lot like the Vatican.
It was the Vatican.
Maybe that's how it started.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
That was kind of what. Did you talk to Lane on his podcast, Isaac?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like what he said. He would say if you had one album to take with you in a bunker, put in a bunker, and it gets like, because if the world ends from lockdown or whatever in 100 years, they're gonna see this and think it's a civilization. What would you take? What did you say for that?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't care about Tom.
I don't know. I don't really listen to much tunes. Like I got the Spotify playlist and that. I like a bit of Queen. I like a bit of, I like to mix it up. A bit of Biggie, bit of Tupac, Shaquille. I don't know. I
You
like
listen
mix it
to
up.
American hip hop.
Yeah.
You just
What do you mean?
You're trying to shame him for that?
What are you saying?
no, but it's just funny when you look at someone. You try to guess what music they would like, and if I look at Isaac with his big beard, his
Mumford
masculine,
Sons.
Mumford and Sons. He looks like a Mumford and Sons. That's what I was going with that.
What are you fucking talking about, Tom? I do not like Mumford and Sons. That's ridiculous.
Bro, you would be that funny seeing like one of those rappers live because you're so tall.
I went and saw Post Malone. It was awesome.
Right,
I fucking love
sick.
Post Malone.
Yo, did you guys see his concert? He live streamed
Nirvana.
Nirvana.
It was great. Yeah, it was
Oh, that
so
would've been
good.
cool.
I watched
10 on
about 10
trending.
minutes and I was like, yeah, I've heard these songs before. Good on him.
Yeah, I skipped to the songs on you. I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
me
That
done.
was good. All right, see ya. I mean, I don't know. I'm weird with that type of shit. I get bored easily. I move on very quickly with a lot of things. I get shitty when I get bad watch time on videos, but I click and change videos all the time. I can't talk.
What do you watch? What's
I was watching.
BUTTSMARN into?
We'll go and have a look at my recommended right now. Let's have a look. I won't put it on the
YouTube
screen because something
or
weird will come up.
Netflix?
Netflix. No. YouTube. Sorry. I was watching a lot about games recently. I recently played The Last of Us on PS4.
I heard
And
that was good.
It's a fucking great game, and they're talking about the next one coming out and when it will come out. And I was down with that. That was really, really good. Watching some COVID-19 stuff, some updates. Joey Carbstrong. He's making some videos about me. That's nice. I don't know why that's in my recommended. Neil Cole Hatkar at home with Karen. Nice one, Neil.
Shout out Neil, friend of the podcast.
That's a Neil. Fairbairn Films, when you stub your toe. Classic
I love
stuff.
their videos. Fucking classics. You just get around the usual suspects. I'm about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different stuff. There's some stuff from Fox League, IGN. I mean, I don't know. I've been watching a lot of weird different stuff, man. Because my stuff's like, it's mixed between the stuff that I'm doing for videos and things that I'm genuinely interested in. So there's a bit of Vice mixed in with some the Rubin Report and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know.
What happened to Vice? What happened to
What's this?
Vice?
Frenchy. Sunger Attack. I know him.
Turn it
Good
up,
guy.
full show, get out now. What happened to Vice, Isaac? What happened to them? Holy
I don't know.
shit.
How the fuck would I know?
No, but
It was...
they used to do like these interesting stories about cartels and blah, blah, blah. Now it's just like, come buy our bathwater, whatever the fuck they do.
Yeah, there was this time where they would go to Iran and go to gun markets.
That's what I was
probably
thinking of.
they're most known for. And now it's more sort of like, hey, I'm a feminist porn star and here's where I keep my socks. Like, it's just shit. And
Where
it's
do they?
Where do they?
Yeah.
Under their arms where it's nice and warm and moist.
Scary. Yeah.
Not where you'd expect.
Not what you'd expect.
I think it's just like, it's such a clickbait environment to survive. They've just got to just sell out, really. I think all the news do it. They just make the most clickbaity shit because that's the only way you can make a business.
And people pretend they like that Vice and the news and stuff. They pretend that they care, well, they don't care at all. It's like, it's even with the Batuta Advocate. Like they just put out as much as they can and they wait to see what goes viral and they make their money from you clicking on the article. And no one reads their fucking articles. I'm sure they're great. I've read some of them. They're very interesting. But no one does. But when you do, you click on it, it goes to their website, they make AdSense from it. And that's how they sort of work. It's the same with the newspapers. So they will go, and I was listening to Tim Pool talk about this, and he's a journalist, a YouTuber, and was on Joe Rogan's podcast 2 days ago. And he was talking about it makes sense for a news organization to put out something on their YouTube channel or on their website or on their newspaper and then make the money from the clicks, but then retract it the next day. Even if it's completely false, they'll retract it because they'll get all the money from the clicks and then the retraction, they'll make twice as much cash.
So you're saying you can literally just say whatever you want. Like Prince Harry's always a big one. If you're like Prince Harry has gills instead of a dick. And people are like, what the fuck?
I'd click on that.
You would click on that. You'd want to see his gill dick. And
yeah.
Right, that's genius. We should start doing that. That's hype.
That was the point that Tim Pool made. That if Prince Harry does have gills or a dick, you need to be across the particular news provider that's making that assumption about the former prince. So, no, I'm glad that you and Tim are on the same page with that, French.
I love how you make really good points, and then I start off like I'm gonna add something, and then it's no, he's turned it Frenchy again.
That's fine. That's you. That's you, baby. That's all good. Don't worry about it.
Do you find you're watching a lot of stuff for because your videos are quite topical and they've usually got a take on something? Because I remember when I saw you in Melbourne, you were reading the newspaper. Is that something you've got to keep up?
You got to stay topical, You need to be talking about things that people are thinking about. But in these times, everyone's talking about the same sort of thing. It's Corona this, Corona that. So sometimes it's nice just to go and watch a weird video. And I found one the other day. I can't fucking, don't worry about it. But it was just something really, really strange. I think it was about like a porn camp or something like that. And it's just fun to watch that shit. It's just fun to go, all right, maybe this will be funny to talk about, and it'll take away from their like that video I released today, Frenchy, about the sugar babes. Like that's not topical, but it is something that people care about and something that people want to watch. And I think within like an hour, I think 40,000 people had watched it. So it was like, that's positive. That's good that people are thinking about something else,
Yeah, no, well, with your videos, it doesn't even have to be. That's what I really like about your channel. It's just, as long as it's half interesting video, you'll make it good with just the way you deliver it and you put those clips.
Whatever's happening, we'll talk about it.
Australia's serial pervert con man, boom. Worst feminist on TikTok, boom. Vegan activist identifies as broccoli. I'm watching all those. I'm clicking on all those. You know what I mean? That's fucking.
So I would too. Like that's how I try and make my titles. Like I would click on that. So, but also views fluctuate, especially when you're pumping out content. Like sometimes you get a video that's got 400,000 views, and the next one might only have 200 or 100 or less.
Bro. I don't know about you, but I'm almost bipolar when it comes to views. Like if I get a good one, I'm walking down the street, my fur coat, throwing money at bitches. I get a bad one, I'm in the bathtub, the razor's in my wrist. I'm calling Tom. I'm going to do it. Tom's like, not again,
do
bro.
It already.
No, he said do it again. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it to spite you. And that's how he talks me off it. Are you the same?
Views are a hard one. Views are a hard one, man, because the good thing with like low views is even if it's a shit video, the thing about low views is it means not many people have seen it.
True.
So that's the sort of positive there. But there's some YouTubers out there that can put out anything. Like Mr. Beast could put out, I spent $50,000 on sucking that black dude behind me.
You would watch that. So that's a bad example. That's a bad example.
That is a good one. I'd watch that.
That is true. Mr. Beast spent $50,000 on toothpicks.
Again, I'd like that for a lot of toothpicks. I want to see how many toothpicks there's going to be.
Okay, Mr. Beast bought $50,000 worth of prescription eyewear.
See, the way we Mr. Beast is because there's 50,000 of them. It's always interesting. You've never seen 50,000 of every item, so you're like, okay, I need to.
Mr. Beast spent $50,000 on a $50,000 broken coat hanger.
For those who don't know who Mr. Beast is, Tom's about to explain him to you.
Oh, he's a dude who came up by every cent he'd make in YouTube. He put back into his videos, so it'd be like spending 100,000, exactly like we were explaining.
But I never got how he had the money to begin with.
Because he started getting views by putting his own money into stuff, and then the money he'd make, he'd put it into stuff.
Here's what I don't get. Why is he called Mr. Beast? He's the whitest man I've ever seen.
Oh, there's a lot you could unpack about him. Like, I think he's a pretty weird dude. He's not very good on screen in my opinion.
He is the most autistic man alive. He is hilarious. He has had so many, like, he must have, like, when they said, oh, okay, we're going to give you your vaccinations, he goes, throw 4 more in. He is so autistic. You see him on screen. It is hilarious. Yeah. He makes Lewis Spears look like a normal human. He is... It is an outrage that he has so many subscribers and is making that much cash. I can't believe he can't even make eye contact with his fucking film people. It's ridiculous, Mr. Beast. You make me sick.
That's true. I was trying to be nice about it, but you're right.
So
That's why I was laughing. I love how Tom just goes, "Oh, there's a lot you could unpack."
It's true though.
Later, Isaac finished his autism rant.
They've got the sense of humor of 12-year-olds, so I think that's why they've done well. They'll say jokes, and you're like, "What the?"
That's
fuck?
the amazing thing about YouTube is these people that no one in real life would ever want to hang out with. They have this enormous fucking following.
Yeah, and then it's like I visited a 20-story bunker, and you're like, "Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'll check that out," even though you're bloody weird as fuck.
Yeah, I want to watch these people that I'd never want to have a conversation with spend $50,000 on toothpicks. Let's do it, bro.
That is very, very funny. Oh, the Beast, Mr. Beast. Bro, that is the background. That's the background. That is incredible. Tom, do you recognize that man?
Yes, I do. Matt Reddy. I first met Matt because he actually opened for you, Frenchy, in the first show of yours I saw. And then when I saw you, Isaac, he opened for you. So I was like, oh, it's full circle.
He's a
photo
for opening for the boys. He really will do it for anyone.
He loves it. Well, he introduced Frenchy and I.
Well, that's what I was going to say. This is a good segue because what we wanted to do, Isaac, is make sure we at least covered how you became Isaac Butterfield, because last time we had you on the podcast, we forgot that you were backstage. Well, the Fairmont boys just talked too long. And I
was standing there for ages, like an hour, just going, are these pricks going to fucking put me on? What's going on?
Exactly. So you had to come out
so many
hot.
people on a couch. It was chaos.
Yeah, it was like chaos. Alan had a gangbang. So you had to come out hot. I should have said Oprah. She was the couch one. Doesn't matter. So you had to come out hot and just talk about how you'd fill up your foreskin with water, or whatever the fuck we were talking about that day. We didn't. I don't remember. The listeners didn't get a chance to hear about how Isaac Butterfield, 1 million subs on YouTube, touring international
1.32, sorry.
Comedian. What?
1.32 million.
Yeah, but like Facebook and TikTok's where it's at, so that's still good, bro. Whatever.
Sorry, that was a bit delayed. It was coming from 2009. Anyway, sorry.
I'm going back to the bath. I'm going straight to the bath after this.
Do it. Put the toaster in.
Yeah. At least cut like a gill where your dick should be before you kill yourself, so we can.
Come on, Prince Harry.
Yeah, okay. Now we're talking.
I'd like to see that.
So we wanted to talk about how you came up, Isaac, because I think it was pretty similar to what how me and Tomo did. So tell us about it. Tell us about it.
So did you start doing videos, or did you start doing stand-up? Were you doing it in high school?
No. Well, I finished high school like most people did. And
not my best friend.
Not our listeners.
They're all still in primary school. Tom makes them listen to them in the bunker that he's locked in. I in high school and stuff, and even in primary school, I was doing like I'd host like the talent quest and shit, and so I'd crack jokes. I ended up getting not suspended, but a suspension warning in primary school because I was hosting the talent quest, and I pretended that Guy Sebastian was coming on, and I called him Gay Sebastian, and I got it's classic stuff, and I got in trouble for that. But after high school, I started doing stand up probably at the age of probably a couple of years after high school. It would have been about 21 or so, maybe 21. And so I was doing stand-up and just doing, open mic nights and stuff. And I actually listened to a Joe Rogan episode with Joey Diaz, and they were talking about how to start stand-up. So I decided to do that because I always wanted to do it. And I went to an open mic night here at the Crown and Anchor in Newcastle. Frenchy, you may or may not have been there. And it was a fucking... It's a great joint. It was a fucking shithole, and there was some shit comics on, and I actually didn't do too bad my first time, which was nice. And so I kept going there and kept trying to work on some more time. And the problem with Australia is there's not enough people around, and I'm not in the capital city, and you got to travel to Sydney to do shows. Yeah. And my issue was that I was trying to work full time and do stand up, so that was the big problem. Thankfully, through Matt Reddy, who's behind me in my background, he got me as a mate of Josh Wade's and to open for him. and with Frenchy as well. So Reddy really helped me out, and Wadey and Frencho, which are their more favoured nicknames.
Yeah, that's what we love. That's what we love.
They gave me the bug, you know, able to tour and make money through that and be a part of it. And those guys helped me out with ideas for you know, video, not so much videos, but how to do it. And I remember, you know, I messaged Frenchy a couple of times and said, "Hey man, I'd be keen to come away and open for you if you want." He never replied, but how things change, motherfucker. Now we're fucking rooming together in Melbourne. I can kill you in your sleep, you little bitch. I can come after you.
Could kill me when I'm awake, bro. Look at you. You're fucking 6'8". Could kill me when I'm awake.
Drinking motherfucker. I got a Joe Rogan prayer candle here, mate. I'm coming for you.
You could kill me when I was armed, bro. Look at you.
Hey. Anyway, so,
bro.
No,
go on.
What just stopped me talking for?
I was gonna interrupt, and I was like, "No, it's not. It's too late. It's past it." And then I just interrupted, so it's just, you know.
But I'll always be forever grateful to Frenchy and that for having me there. And Josh used to pay me for opening. Frenchy never did, but yeah, no, it was good.
You don't I remember one night. You're a rich motherfucker.
That's true. And I remember I was bidding for Frenchy's. Where was it? It was in Armidale or something, or Tamworth or something like that. And we went and we played the pokies somewhere, and we cleaned the whole town out. It was great. They were out the front the next day. We were having breakfast with little buckets going, "Oh, share $1 for us," because we fucking raided the whole town, Frenchy. You're all cashed up. You were like, "Fuck
wins,
yeah."
Bro.
Yeah, man, it was good.
So you were part of the problem that led Frenchy to become a gambling addict.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can talk about what I know about Frenchy's gambling addiction, but it was bad. It was bad. It was.
You can see it. He's cringing right now.
Oh yeah.
You know how we were talking about that sucking the ball before?
Yeah,
that was what I used to do for hits. I was like, I just need 50 cents, $1 for a hit. Like, I'll suck your balls. And old Neville down the pub was like, "Yeah, all right, just here's a buck, get both of them in there." And I did.
Oh, but you did a great job with kicking your addiction, man. Like that's a big thing to do. Like, you should be certainly proud of yourself. And I'm proud of you as a friend. And the reason that I'm just sort of taking my time here. Oh, why didn't that say? Fuck, hang on. The reason that I'm taking my time to sort of, you know, I'm just.
You're looking for a picture to stitch me up, aren't you?
100%. 100%.
He's stalling by saying really supportive things.
I love Frenchy. He's a great friend of mine. There we go.
Yes, Big Red. That brings back the memories. Big Red.
So for those listening, Isaac has changed his background to a classic pokey background. Is that one that reigns true to you, Frenchy? Is that a favorite?
Big Red's a big dog machine. That's something Mr. Beast would play because it's dollar hits. It's a dollar machine. It's fucking.
So I was recently up at sorry to interrupt. I was recently up at the Gold Coast there doing my last show for last year and staying at the casino. And I was bored before the show, and I saw these dudes in like button ups, and they looked like accountants or something. They were feeding hundreds into the big red machine there at the casino, and no luck. So I went and put 50 in, did 5 $10 hits. On the last $10 hit, I won $2,000, and then I kept playing, like maybe $100 down, and I won $6,000. So I walked out with like 7-6 or something like that. Yeah.
Fuck.
This isn't helping, Isaac.
That's why you should always keep playing. You should never walk away. You should always keep playing.
Yeah, you got to put it back in. So that was my biggest win, and then I haven't played the pokies since. So. That was good.
That's smart. See, if you get over a couple grand, you should probably stop, or you should go back and win more because they're paying out.
So the next day, I put $100 in and won $4,000. So that was the end of that weekend away. That was really good.
When you got home,
bro, you just
put another 100 in.
Yeah, no. When I got home, I just got the money out and just threw it out to the people because I'm a man of the people. No, but it was. Meeting Frenchy was pretty cool for me because I was a big fan.
We're going to have to stop this for 1 second and restart because apparently we've gone about to hit our Zoom limit and we're going to dial back in for 40 minutes. Is that cool?
Why do you have a Zoom limit?
Otherwise, you got to upgrade. They like you only get 40 minutes.
No, you don't.
That's what they're telling me. I got less than a minute.
That's bullshit. I've been doing Zoom podcasts for the last 3 weeks.
With 3 ways?
Threesomes, you got to pay more.
Let's
Three ways,
leave
you
this in. It's good.
All right,
like
you got to pay more. We'll talk to you in 1 second again, guys. And we're back. Sorry about that break.
Cheers, Frenchy.
You may not even know we had a break because we synced the audio. But we went and got a beer. We got a tea. Tom got some bubble bath for later.
Yep, I'm in a bubble bath as we speak.
And apparently everyone's putting
And now I've
pokies
also-
up as their screensavers. Okay.
Yeah, I thought I went with the Australiana theme, so I've got an Australian flag that turns into pokies. Just to show that you used to be Australian, no longer.
Frenchy did so well to kick his addiction that we're being the biggest cunts in the world.
It's not... Oh, there we go. That's good. There we go.
That's my addiction. He's changed his background to Bill Cosby. Big fan. Isaac,
When Frenchy and I... Sorry, go on.
You're right. Isaac, I was just about to say, I went... I'm planning on writing a show, so I went through and bought a whole bunch of cancelled celebrities' autobiographies before they got cancelled. So
Nice.
I've got Bill Cosby's book on love and marriage that I ordered online. Also,
But that was always his thing. He was always telling people, "Oh, don't be dirty, don't swear on stage." And this cunt was out fucking drugging people. Frenchy, this is the problem we had with your with podcasts you did with me. For some reason, your background doesn't work. It doesn't work. It becomes the foreground. It's weird.
yeah, it's weird.
creepy,
Frenchie's face kind of superimposes over these characters. So he is in Hanson at the moment. He is now Rolf Harris. It's really weird. Jared from Subway. Yeah, I bought his book as well. He wrote a book for some reason.
Why would he write a book?
I know, it's called like Winning Through Losing or something. I'm like, mate, you fucking lost, all right?
You're on an ad. Get over yourself, Jared, you big pedo.
I
So
was
anyway,
listening-
we're on tour.
Yeah,
and
go for
we're on tour. We weren't even on tour, Frenchy. We were just out doing some shows.
Yeah.
And it was great opening up. We were up in Lismore after that. So I met you when you came to my house with Matt Reddy, and then we drove out to do some shows. And we went to Lismore and drove home that night. And you went up at the fucking races. It was the longest night of our lives.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if we've talked about this on this podcast. It was
I don't think so.
It was a wild one. It was a university gig, week, orientation week, and it was just 3 lads in a car, drove all the way up. The Armadale bowling one was fucking terrible.
It was so bad.
Terrible gig. And then,
But that's when we won like maybe like $300 each on the pokies that night. So we were stoked. We were young men. We were pumped.
bro,
That's not bad.
I love it when you get any win over 100. You're like, I'm set. That's my night done.
Yes, I'm the man. I'm the breadwinner. I am the breadwinner.
But yeah, then we went. Was it Foster or something? Was it?
Lismore.
Lismore, and yeah, we did a red hot show. Everyone fucking crushed. Went back to some dorms, played beer pong, then drove the fuck home at 4 a.m. because I had a Bucks to get to. So Matt Reddy drove.
We drove for hours. It was like a 10-hour drive or something.
That's
and
rough.
I'd made him stop drinking because did we have somewhere to stay, or we didn't have somewhere to stay, or it was really bad or some shit. So we drove home and we basically swapped turn after turn, Frenchy and I, to the back and the front of the car to keep Reddy awake. And, you know, if we are talking about him, I may as well have him as my background. And it was great, you know, it was a real cool little thing. And I got home about 9 o'clock in the morning and went to bed, and Frenchy went out and had a Bucks the next day, or that day rather. What a fucking horrible life.
A fucking party. Isaac, before let's skip back. I want to, so you're gigging, you're doing your hard yards, you're doing your open mics exactly like I did. Then you're like, let's start making videos, see how that goes. What was your first sort of videos?
Well, straight out the bat, like I had a business plan going into it because I knew how Josh had done it, and I knew how you had done it, and I was like, okay, it is the way to go forward in comedy now. It's just to make your own audience and not
Andy.
It's not to. I thought you were saying Undy then.
Sorry, bro. Sometimes I do like hype background effects. You don't have to stop talking. I'll just be like, yeah.
Cheer. And yeah, so I knew that was the way to do it, and it's still frowned upon in the Australian comedy community is to do that, and perhaps the comedy community worldwide, but fuck them, that's why they suck. And honestly, like it's the way to do it. So I had the business plan in mind that I was going to make it about like at the micro level. So I was going to make videos about Newcastle first, where I'm from, and then similar to what you did, French. You did stuff about, and the Roundabout crew did the same stuff, sort of thing, like about their home areas or their hometown, sort of thing. And I did the same thing, and then grew to New South Wales, and then to Australia, and now a worldwide sort of thing. And that sort of worked for me, man. It took me maybe 12 months to get to 1,000 subscribers, uploading twice a week. It took forever. And so many times when, I looked and I thought, oh, fuck this, I can't be bothered or whatever. But then I kept going, and I remember going up and.
Yeah, it takes a while to find your style. Also find find your voice on the internet and B, find your style. What works best for the way I do comedy, you know what I mean? And I think like your skits are good, like they're all still very funny, but just something so personal about the way you sort of talk and rant to the camera that just gets people fucking jacked. And so I feel like that's
the cool thing is that you can if you're doing a 1 or 2 minute sketch and it gets 2 million views, that's awesome. But if you can get 13 or 14 minutes of people watching you talk about a political issue, and you get 500,000 people watch that, that's all time. And then that translates to people coming to the show, because they know they can trust you for that period of time.
It's more personal, and you get more ticket sales, whereas a disassociated skit is not going to get you the same amount of fans as that. This is me. This is my thoughts on this issue. Not even close.
But yeah, it can. But it's easier to build a crowd and an audience, I think, through really putting yourself out there. And so that's what I did. And I honestly, like, the reason that I hit the million mark was because I was just consistent, and uploading all the time, and 3-4 videos a week, and constantly writing and all that type of stuff. Like, it was hard, and a strain on your physical, mental health, and all that type of business. But I'm glad I did it, and the touring was difficult as well. But I'm glad I did that. I mean, Frenchy, you met me when I was a very raw comic and only been doing it for 2 years, and the longest period of time I did on stage was 15 fucking minutes. And you were there for my first show that I did a full hour.
Harold Park.
Up in Harold Park Hotel in front of like 90 people.
Brother. Fuck yeah, I was. That's what I was like. And that's, so you exactly did it right, because you realized you gotta make hay when the sun's shining, or what the fuck that saying is. Make hay when the pussy's wet. I don't exactly know this saying.
Make sun when the hay is shining.
You realized you were popping and you just fucking went hard in the paint, and that's why you grew so fast, because you really grinded, bro. You really worked hard. That's what people don't see. But yeah, I did enjoy watching your very first show. 90 people, and you could tell you weren't ready. No, you weren't ready. I just saw the name Matt behind you. So you hadn't done a long form,
No, it was scary. Before. It was so scary because I'd never done an hour. I had, basically 4 groups of 15 minutes. And that was what I was going to stick together for an hour show. Yep. Because, as you said, when the sun was shining, we needed to put together a tour. Yeah. And that's what we did. And we put together that tour, and we went into the tour not having a show. And then by the end of it, I had a show good enough to record. And then that's been on Amazon now for about 4 months. And I still get, positive reviews from it. And then after that show that I put together over 4 or 5 years, the year after it, when I did the month in Melbourne doing shows, and then I did the 80 shows, and then filmed a special in front of 2,000 people, that's the special that I want people to see. And we got big news coming out around that, hopefully soon.
We don't get any sneak. When's that coming out?
Well, it won't be coming out on Amazon. That's the sneak.
Ooh, I'm excited. But that's what I was going to say is that, so I got to see your very first show, and which is very rare to do. And then I got to see that same show a year later. And it was just insane how much it got better, but also didn't, because all the core jokes were still so good. It was just the way you sort of delivered and just the confidence you got from performing it. And what I found very interesting, the very first show, the one thing I remember was it was probably the only time you did it. You apologized for one of your jokes. It was like it was an edgy one. You're like, oh, sorry, that was a bit. That was like, it was just under the breath sort of, I was like, and I remember I told you, I said, bro, don't ever say anything like that, because we want you to say the rudest. We want you to say the rudest shit. And then the next time I saw you, you were so blatantly, this is what I'm saying, you're going to fucking deal with it. And it was just so beautiful. Like, I remember, what was it, the jokes you were dropping? The ones in Melbourne, I loved the Jewish one, whatever the fuck that was.
Oh, the one that got me fucking
and the
really
Christchurch
cancelled.
one was pretty pretty.
Christchurch one, that's in the special, and
we'll save that for the special.
People hated that, but every night in Melbourne it got a round of applause, an applause break. So that was cool, because I remember people around me saying, "Don't do that. Like that's in poor taste," all that type of shit. But it was one of those things where I enjoyed saying it, and the thing is, I know it's fucked up. I know it's offensive. That's the point. That's the point of it.
That's it. And people get that, and they can see it in your delivery that you're like, oh, I know this is fucked up. And I think that's the difference. If you were out there and it was more like a political rant about something, it's completely different than
or Tom, if I was a bus conductor and I stood up in the middle of the bus and I said that, people would be like, what the fuck? But because I'm a comedian, and after the joke I got a smile on my face and I'm like, Jesus, fuck, that's horrible. I'm a piece of shit.
Self-aware. Yeah.
Self-aware, you get away from it. You have a license.
For context, we got a lot of overseas listeners.
That's a racial slur, Frenchy.
Hello to our international listeners. G'day. Hello. Bonjour. You got to say it, Tom. Say a few.
Konnichiwa. Ni hao.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Croissant, monsieur. That means hello. Mister. My name is Croissant. Hello.
He's talking. Isaac had a joke about the Christchurch shootings, the massacre. But is it about that? There's a very good misdirect in there. Well, I'm not going to ruin it for you. But me and Tom, we've talked about are some jokes, some tragedies off limits. And Tom made the very good point. No, as long as the joke's good enough, it's.
Yeah, but the thing is, French, you're actually mixing that up with another joke.
Sorry, which one?
The misdirection.
Oh yeah. But what?
The Christchurch one is blatantly horrible.
No. I don't mean misdirect. I mean the punchline isn't on the victims. Do you know what I mean? That's what I meant. I didn't want to like.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It 100% is.
It's not really.
It's horrible.
Really.
It's the biggest. I am the worst human alive.
I don't think it is. But I think we've just sold your specials to our listeners. People are like, oh, I need to know this joke now. Did you do it when you performed in Christchurch?
Yeah.
Fuck, bro.
That's funny.
Because Zach, tour manager Zach was like, nah, man, you can't do it here. Don't do it here. And I was a bit iffy about it. And I got up on stage and I was like, yeah, so about this point of the show, I tell a joke about the Christchurch massacre.
Prefaced it. Yeah.
And they were like, and I was like, do you want to hear it? And they were like, yes.
That's good.
And I said it and I was just like, you know, it was a good roar. It was another earthquake to hit the city. Yeah. It was that town. I mean, I met some great people there, but that town has had so much shit happen to it. It is a depressing place to be. I know a lot of great people are from Christchurch, and I don't know, maybe they are. Who gives a fuck? A lot of nice people I met there. But they've had earthquakes. They have the highest rate of suicide out of any town in New Zealand.
Ooh,
and it was weird being there. It was a weird place. It's like a war-torn city, and it was nice to do the show there. You know,
well, it's good for you to go there and piss on them. That's
the thing. You don't want to tiptoe around the fact.
No, people. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Because Christchurch, like at least half the centre is still under construction. Well, it was when I toured there, which was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, go on.
I opened the show and I was like, geez, there's a lot of scaffold around here, you fucking Kiwis. You won't stop building. Or something like that. And it was great. Like they knew straight away that I was taking the piss. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, what happened is I was performing 20 minutes out of town because it's a cheaper venue than the one in town. 20 minutes out of town at night, they shut most of the main city because they need to do, that's when they do the fixing of the roads, of all the buildings, blah, blah, blah. And there's like a maze you got to follow to get back to your hotel because most of the roads are fucking shut. When I was there, which was a couple of years ago, it was legitimately like a fucking maze. But I found the crowd was my favorite crowd in New Zealand because they're tradies and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. What did you find with New Zealand, touring New Zealand? Because I found it quite strange. I didn't enjoy New Zealand. I found it I had a good time, but Auckland was cool. I really enjoyed Auckland, but everywhere else was just strange. Like they were not as into it. I didn't get to go to Queenstown, which I really want to go to. That place looks beautiful. But yeah. I don't know. Sorry, Kiwis. It was a bit shit.
Oh, there you go. We have a lot of Kiwi listeners too. This is some fighting words.
Stupid fucking pieces of shit. I hope they all die.
I loved it because obviously I got my boy Jimmy. I always catch up with in Auckland. I've got my grandma's from Taranaki. So I've got some second cousins I hang out with when I go down New Plymouth and that stuff like that.
Sorry.
You what?
Sorry.
You're right.
I'm just talking shit about your whole family.
I don't care, bro. It's only my grandma. And but I found in terms of crowd, they were all good except Dunedin was weirdly bad because it's a student town. I thought it'd be the best one.
Yeah, I went there too. It's shit.
Weirdly bad. Invercargill is like their Tasmania. That was a strange place.
Yeah.
I did a fun show there, but still, it was like, yeah. I can see why you fuck your cousin because
I do miss touring, but I'm looking forward to it. Getting back on the road and getting it done and
getting it done, son.
Getting it done. I think we should do part 2 of this podcast in a couple of weeks and see what's happening, what's planning, because that'll be interesting to see how it all sort of changes and mixes up, and
totally
goes from there. But
awesome.
So jumping back a little bit, how did you find your videos changed from having a few, like 1,000 subscribers to hitting 1 million? How do you think you grew and how your style changed? And did it affect like your style on stage as well?
Well, I mean, on stage, a lot changed, obviously, through doing a lot more shows, touring the UK and doing stuff over there. That was really cool. Having people who know you on the other side of the world was insane. And I don't know how much has changed. I think I've gotten a lot better, but there's still so much room to grow. Man, I'm in year 3 of my professional career. And, I want this to continue for another 40 years. So I'm at the start, and I want to get as far along as I can, and I want to have Netflix specials, coming out, and I want to do all those things. I want to grow on YouTube. I want to do all that type of stuff. I want to be back down in Melbourne next year, rooming with Frenchy again, because we had that plan for this year. I had such a great time rooming with him. He's like,
wasn't it fun?
It was. I had a beautiful time.
He's a bit of a neat freak, isn't he?
I love it because he's like me. He's not the exact same person you think he is. Like, we're sitting around, both having tea and all that shit.
We had a lot of tea down there.
Yeah, I'm down. But also because now when we go back to Melbourne next year, it's more of a relaxed affair because it's not my first Melbourne now. I know what's going on. I'm into it, and that I think I'll have more fun.
It's a cool vibe. It's a cool city at that time of year. It's awesome.
Yeah, but gentlemen, I've got dinner on the table.
There you go.
I apologise, but Mrs. Butterfield,
mate, we will take you for as long as we can have you. We appreciate you coming.
I apologise for not doing it sooner, but let's do it in a couple of weeks. Let's do it again.
Because
we actually didn't get to any of the fan questions.
Oh, fuck.
Next
all right,
time.
let's go. Now, fan questions. Let's go.
Let's
Come
do
on.
a speed round of them. Speed round. Let's fucking go. Speed round. Speed round.
Right.
Bang it.
All right. Just give me
off to a slow start.
Slow start. I wasn't ready. Okay, first question. Are you going to box Luke Irwin?
Who?
There you go.
Yeah,
Next question.
There you go.
He's a porn star.
Does he know Tom's a pedo? Yes, he does.
Yes.
Everyone does.
I need to know how he gets his beard so bushy.
Not shaving.
Did you used to be a spokesperson for Jared from Subway?
No, I was Jared from Subway.
There we go.
Wow,
looking good. Grew a beard in prison.
Out of the places you've gone for your podcast, exploring a haunted museum, hunting for Australia's Bigfoot, and exploring the haunted prison, which was your favourite and why?
I enjoyed Bigfoot. That was quite scary. The first haunted museum we went to was really cool as well. But the prison was my favourite. But one of the things that really upset me about Melbourne being cancelled is Frenchy. We were going to do one.
Oh, fuck, damn it.
Yeah, so we'll have to do that.
I've been trying to get Frenchy, the big pussy, to do that for so long, and he's such a scaredy little bitch.
I've said I'm keen, Tom. You haven't organised it. You won't even hang
No.
out with me anymore. You're like,
because you're a pussy.
Gladys doesn't want us to talk to more than one person.
Well,
Fucking
Frenchy hasn't been
Gladys's bitch,
self-isolating is the problem, Isaac. Frenchy's
I've been with Cleary.
I've been
with Nate Cleary, bro.
Can he tickle my balls with his beard and give me a mad Remy?
Depends how much cash you got.
Good.
True.
Have you ever been stalked by a fan?
Stalked?
Stalked.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some weird ones. I don't want to get into it because I want to meet them on a documentary. That's the thing.
That's amazing.
Cool. That's cool.
How many hard-boiled eggs can you fit up your anus?
Great question. That's mine. That's mine.
Well, it depends. Depends on the day. Depends on how much meat I've eaten beforehand. But I'll say 6.
Wow, that's not bad.
There's a bit of room up there.
And last one, will you run for Prime Minister one day?
Well, there is 40,000 signatures on change.org saying that I'm Prime Minister.
That's amazing.
And by the size of my feet, ladies and gentlemen, I will be Prime Minister of this great country. If there's, I don't know what
you got my vote.
I like
you got my vote. Just the way you said it.
I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying.
Donald Trump was president.
Reminds
you
me
can
of
do
a
it.
young Hitler. I like the way you said that.
Here's the thing. Right now it's 6:23 p.m. and I've been fasting all day, so I'm so keen on food.
Go get
ladies
your food,
and gentlemen,
brother.
it's been an absolute pleasure being on the Tom and Frenchy podcast, and I want to be back in 2 weeks. I do apologise, French. I know we've been planning this for a while, but you guys fucked around with fucking Zoom, so it's your fault.
We did. We appreciate you coming on, mate.
I'm gonna love yous and leave yous.
Thank you so much. Talk to you
I'll
soon.
the audio too. Toodaloo, au revoir, bye.
See ya.
And that was you're still on. Podcast. I was going to give you. Oh,
no, it's
fuck.
good. We'll leave that on.
That was Isaac Butterfield. We're going to do 5-10 more minutes for you guys just to wrap up. We've got a few stories we want to talk about, and I've got a beer to finish. Tom?
I thought that was a strange choice to continue the podcast, but okay.
I've got a beer to finish, bro. Do you want to end it?
I thought that was a nice out. Yeah, I think he left us with a nice out.
Oh, okay. Tom doesn't want to do any more, guys, and I'm going to keep this in. I wanted to do more for you, just give you your money's worth. You're not paying money.
Interesting.
Right.
From the guy who wanted to go down to 1 a week.
Yes, because I don't like not doing it in touching distance. So there's a woman dating a chandelier, and we haven't even talked about that.
A
woman
chandelier
wakes up in a body bag. These are stories we're going to have to get to them next week if you want to go, Tom.
I loved Chandelier in Friends. He was really good.
It does look like that. Chandelier. Bro,
it's Chandelier.
Yeah, but it's spelled Chandel. That's Chandel. That's Chandelier.
Oh, true. I've got to go to the chemist after this, so I'll be back soon.
Bro, tell me I'm wrong. You can't do it. You cannot do it. Chandelier. So you think it's chandelier? Where's the S?
I know it is.
Fuckhead. Where's the S?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what?
I'm dealing with a special. A special with a special.
A special. So we're going to end it then, Tom?
Yeah, I reckon. It's a nice short one. It's an interview-focused one, and we will have him back in 2 weeks, and we'll have another one of these on Monday.
Yeah, thanks for being our friends, guys.
Love you long time. Hopefully, apologies if the audio's a bit weird, because, yeah, I kind of thought he was doing it externally as well. Like, I thought that's what we did. But there might be a bit of a reverb you hear, so apologies. Next time we'll have it sorted out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen with this audio. Could have been... I'll try to do my magic to it after this. You're getting some little postscript for this. This is some behind the scenes, guys.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.